Hello and welcome back to Cyberpunk 2077. I'm Shadow Coast, and in this video we are going to discuss net running, specifically talking about perks and cyberware you're going to want to obtain early game to be a successful net runner. So as you can see, I'm sitting at level 28. I've already maxed out intelligence, which is the key attribute. When it comes to assigning attributes, early game I actually recommend that you put more points in body and maybe reflex technical and or cool, and then build intelligence as you level up in game. And that is because early game it is extremely difficult to take on engagements as a solo netrunner or just using quick hacks. That being said, once you get to level 10 intelligence or so, and you're able to upgrade your operating system as well as get some key perks, which we're going to outline, you can honestly take out all enemies through quick hacking. And right now, the game is very easy mode with the setup that I have. So let's jump in. Your number one attribute for net running will be intelligence, and that's because that's the main net running attribute. And as you can see here over to the right, as we upgrade intelligence, that will increase our cyberdeck RAM capacity, which is critical. We want as much RAM as possible because that allows us to do more quick hacks. It also increases our quick hack damage, which is very important, as well as the quick hack duration, which will come into play when we look at the actual quick hacks we're going to look at. Now we're going to focus on quick hacking, but we'll also talk about breach protocol here in a minute. When you first start off, the first perk that you can grab is Biosynergy. This is a good perk, but you do not need to upgrade to level 3 immediately. And that's mainly because when you start the game, you're not actually going to have 12 RAM. So you don't need it to be recover that fast because you're not going to be able to functionally use that much RAM. And so what I recommend is get one perk point in Biosynergy to start off your tree, maybe two once you get to around level 5 or 6, because by that point, hopefully you can upgrade your operating system and be leveraging more quick hacks. From there, there are a few key attributes or perks that you're going to want to grab. When you can, you're going to want to get uh, not signal support, there we go, bloodware, and work your way up to bloodware, which increases your quick hack damage, which is critical. As a netrunner, quick hacks are your main way to damage and eliminate enemies, either lethally or non-lethally. So I do recommend prioritizing bloodware. There are some perks I do recommend. So when we look at Hacker's Manual for crafting hacks or quick hacks, I actually personally recommend getting this. Now, I posted a video on an exploit that currently works in patch 1.05 where you can get or receive unlimited components. So check out that video. I'll link it in the description. You'll also see a card pop up in the top right here in a second. So I would also recommend prioritizing these where you can upgrade from Hacker's Manual to School of Hard Hacks, right, where you're crafting over to Hacker, Overlord, and then eventually you're going to be able to get Bartmos's Legacy, where you can craft legendary hacks, quick hacks. And we're going to see the differences between a legendary quick hack versus an uncommon and why you're going to want to upgrade because it's important. Outside of the crafting component, which I do recommend prioritizing, as well as using the exploit to get unlimited resources to craft hacks, you're going to want to go with bloodware. After bloodware, there are going to be certain quick hacks that you unlock that you have to level up. So I personally like Forget Me Not. This is a good way to regenerate RAM once you get rolling, but that comes a little bit later. But what I do recommend getting pretty early on is I Spy. So after Bloodware, I would prioritize I Spy because that will allow you to reveal the enemy netrunner. And effectively what you can do is if they're going to be netrunning against you, if you use Ping as well as this ability, you will be able to identify the netrunner attacking you, target them, and then quick hack them down immediately so they won't, you don't keep getting overheated or whatever they're hitting you with the their quick hacks. After that, I personally like where is it here? Plague. You have to work over to this one because you have to have, I believe, a certain number of perks here. But that's because I use Contagion on cooldown, and you want it to spread to additional targets to take them out. There are other quick hacks that you're going to want to grab. Diffusion, I think, is critical, especially if you leverage Contagion, which we'll take a look at in a minute, like I do. And optimization is actually really good. Um, Animus is also really, really good. I said that wrong. And okay, and then what is this? Mnemonic is also critical. So you're going to want to prioritize those quick hacks. These other ones are pretty good, but they come later on. Effectively, when you get later game, depending on if you are a solo netrunner, which is kind of my build, that's the main way I do damage in my playthrough for this character, you're going to want to eventually upgrade all of these. Now, when it comes to progression points, you're going to grab them as you go, so that's not too much to worry about. But that is to say that there are some really, really good ones where they reduce quick hack cooldowns and stuff like that, which you're going to want to get. Let's take a minute to talk about Breach Protocol. Breach Protocol is still really critical as a netrunner, so don't discount it. I would recommend getting Big Sleep, where you can turn off cameras. This is actually really, really useful, where you can turn them off for a few minutes, not have to worry about them. Turret shutdown, you're going to want to unlock this to shut down turrets because they can be a real pain to deal with. You can see here, I kind of went on the periphery when I was able to get some of these that increased duration and stuff like that, which is helpful. One item I would highly recommend is getting extended network interface. If you're having trouble making money or getting quick hack components, this one's really helpful because it tells you where access points are that you can breach protocol to get stuff. Now, advanced data mine, this increased to $0. If you're not using exploits and you want a clean campaign, these two I highly recommend because they're a great way to generate eddies, which are useful. Some of the ones out here are very useful. I am eventually going to get them, but I was focusing on quick hacking to eliminate enemies. So hopefully that's helpful. Let's take a look at Cyberware, which plays a critical role in our ability to be an effective netrunner. This operating system, in my opinion, I think is the best one. It's definitely the best operating system you can get uh, fairly early game. You can get this in Kabuki Market, I believe. I forget. I think it's maybe Frank. I forget the Ripper Doc there, but he will sell this, and you can obtain this at like immediately. Now there are some requirements to it. I'm pretty sure it's 14 street cred, so you have to farm out some street cred, and it's 35,000 eddies. But I highly recommend that you prioritize obtaining this operating system. There are several main reasons. First and foremost, it's going to give you 6 slots for quick hacks. These are your quick hacks. So you're going to be able to put 6 in there, which is better because your starting one, which I think is like a Paraline Militech or something, only gives you two quick hacks. So that's number one. Number two, look at the passives on here. Allows you to perform quick hacks on targets and devices while scanning. That's standard for all of them, but it increases the time it takes for an enemy netrunner to hack you, so you can effectively take them down before they can complete it. Increases quick hack spread distance by 60%. That's the second reason I wanted this, is because I use Contagion, which we're going to look at here in a quick second. And then it also increases your cyber deck RAM recovery rate by 6 per 60 seconds, which is pretty good. So in my opinion, this is the best operating system, the Raven Micro Cyber Mark IV, that I have found. I have not encountered one yet that exceeds this. 10 base RAM, 8 buffer size, 6 slots. It also immediately increases your RAM. I would prioritize getting this. You do need Street Cred 14. I don't think there are any level requirements. Maybe it's like 4 or 5, but I'm going to have to go back and double check that. Let's get to quick hacks. The number one quick hack that I like is Contagion. It's non-lethal, and while it deals low damage, it spreads around, and then it increases as it spreads to enemy targets. This is absolutely fantastic. You hit one enemy unit, it'll just spread around, and you can just keep hitting units with Contagion until they all go down while you hide behind a door. We're a netrunner. We don't need to engage in melee combat, range combat. We like to use hacking. Contagion is a great way to put a debuff on your enemies. It's also very useful when you're fighting bosses. Later on, when you fight Oda, he can go invisible, hit him with contagion. You can see him taking damage even while he's invisible, so you know where he is and you can evade him. Stuff like that, super helpful. One of my favorite offensive quick hacks I use on cooldown. Next, Cyberpsychosis. Now, you can't use this against bosses. This one is just entertaining. I'll be honest with you, when they have enemy robots that are super hard to kill, if I can, I'll hit them with Cyberpsychosis and then just sit back and watch the enemy robot or, higher tiered enemy do the work for you. Super entertaining, super fun, super helpful. I like it. Detonate Grenade. Now, here's the deal. This one is actually not that good. I might replace this one with Reboot Optics or Weapon Glitch, to be honest. I just find it hilarious to watch enemies grenade detonate. You do roll the dice. A lot of enemies that are higher tiered will have flashbangs, which aren't quite as effective. But when you get a solid incendiary or frag grenade, really super entertaining to watch. So again, I would deprioritize it, but it's again your playstyle. I find it actually really fun, so I keep it in there. If I were to swap it out, I'd do Reboot Optics or I would do um, Weapon Glitch. Ping, number one quick hack you have to have as a Netrunner, and you're going to want to upgrade this as quickly as possible. The legendary, I think, is pretty nice. Reveals enemies and devices connected to the network. Highlighted enemies and devices can be scanned and quick hacked through obstacles. That second point is so critical. Effectively, you're going to want to stand behind walls and stuff and quick hack them. If you don't have line of sight early on, you can't quick hack them. This gets around it. You ping, you can see all the enemies around you, and you can quick hack them through obstacles. Critical, critical quick hack. Use it all the time. Extremely important. Make sure you have it. Short Circuit. This is my main damage dealer, single target DPS damage dealer. You can use it on almost every boss. I've been able to use it on in every boss fight. It is non-lethal damage, deals 30% extra damage to enemies below a high threat level. So if you're basically hitting them from a distance and they haven't seen you yet, you output a massive, massive damage. Again, you're going to want to upgrade it, and then you can see that 1,900 per second electrical damage will stack as we extend our quick hack duration and percentages based off our perks. Another reason why you would want to extend your quick hack duration, because a lot of these are effectively dots or damage over time moves. And finally, Suicide. I use this one all the time if there's specific enemies in a way that I want to take out. Again, depending if you're trying to do a non-lethal playthrough, replace with Reboot Optics or something else if you're really trying to stealth. But if you're looking to take out enemies, Suicide's a great way. Here's an important thing to note. Items like Suicide, Detonate Grenade, Cyberpsychosis, these three will not work on boss fights. So when you come to a boss fight, you're going to want to swap them out with Weapon Glitch, etc. Now, other quick hacks of note, Memory Wipe. I have not been able to use this one, so if you know how to use this effectively, please post a comment in the comment section, because when I'm engaged, eventually all the enemies see me. I have never been in a situation, unless it's like the last enemy standing, where this would make sense to use. I don't really get it, because once I'm in combat for all of them, I can't wipe the person that identified me's memory and then go out of combat. So if I'm using it wrong, please let me know. But it's there. Reboot Optics, very, very helpful. If you're trying to sneak around, get past enemies, or blind them, definitely recommend using it. Just not my personal playstyle. Synapse Burnout. This one can be a good one, similar to Short Circuit. I personally find Short Circuit does more damage. I like it better, but here's a move. It's just basically the lethal version of Short Circuit, how I view it. System Reset. Cripples the target's nervous system. Um, so effectively, if you're playing stealth and trying to sneak past him, very, very good quick hack to note and understand. Whistle. This one can be useful. I personally tend to just do quick hack offensive versus pure stealth, to be honest, just because it's more fun and I can do it. But this one would be critical if you are truly trying to stealth around and need to reposition enemies in different areas. Cyberware Malfunction. Disable target cyberware abilities. This can be very helpful and effective against enemy netrunners and fast-moving targets that kind of glitch between areas. Effectively, if you're taking on cyber psychos, recommend you use that to help slow them down. Overheat, non-lethal, another dot, high damage. I personally don't use overheat, but it's a good one. I kind of prefer contagion, but if you look at them, overheat, it's more of single target DPS damage, where contagion, I'm staying hidden. But if you're doing the single boss fights or cyber psycho fights, recommend using overheat. Request backup calls over one enemy squad. Again, if you're trying to be stealthy and reposition enemies, this one's really important. And then weapon glitch, we talked about this one. Jam an enemy's target weapon, also situational useful. You will see in my build, I am an offensive netrunner where I'm looking to take out enemies lethally or non-lethally. A lot of these you could use that are more situational and better for stealth, which I just find incredibly difficult in this game to do, so I kind of gave up on it. Okay, almost done with this video. We're going to go over to crafting and take a look here, because one of the things that can be confusing is when you're upgrading to legendary, is it actually worth it, right? So let's take a look. Duration 4.5 seconds, upload time 1 second, cooldown 30 seconds, deals low damage 45 per second with an 8 meter, effective against closely grouped targets. This is contagion level 1. Let's go over here and see that when you upgrade, you're going to get more, I'm going to call them side perks, or basically sub bullets, right? It can jump to targets. Each subsequent target receives more damage. Passive, while equipped, all quick hacks capable of spreading to multiple targets can jump one additional time. So this is the reason why you're going to want to upgrade, because you're going to get additional, call it kind of bonuses as you go. And I'm trying to look for, where is ping? There we go. So we don't have a basic ping, but reveals enemies and devices connected to the local network. So ping rare, we can't target them through enemies, but up here, right, when we upgrade ping, this is why the legendary is so much better. Highlighted enemies and devices can be scanned and quick tacked through obstacles. That's super important. And as we look at this one, I am going to try to see, yeah, it's really the legendary version that allows you to quick hack through walls. So that's why you want to get to being able to craft legendary quick hacks, because those kind of, call it final bullets here, are super important to being very effective. So I hope you found this video helpful. This is my, call it, semi-guide or suggestions on net running, specifically offensive quick hacking. I hope you enjoyed the video. I am actively trying to grow my channel, so if you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you like what you see, please also consider clicking that like button. Thanks so much, and hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast out.